I wish I could say buenos dias, but it's not a buenos dias, amigos. We have problems in paradise over there in Barcelona. I don't know what's going on, but Fermin Lopez might leave, and I'm gonna lose my minds. I'm gonna lose my mind, boys. I'm gonna lose my minds. Apparently, Chelsea are interested in him, and he's gonna decide the next 48 hours. We He's already said he doesn't want to go this summer. But Barcelona keep chat yapping. I keep hearing these guys. If he wants to go, we'll let him go. If he wants to go, we'll let him go. I've heard that like 100 times. I've seen it so many times on Twitter, and clearly they're talking about it to him. Probably, I would assume. It feels like they're not pushing him out. They're pushing him out. It could be him. It could be Casaro. I'm biased. I like Fermin Lopez. He's the reason I'm a YouTuber nowadays, honestly. So it's a little tough, the situation. I also think Fermin's potential, I think the way he fits into the squad makes more sense, especially with Dani Olmo being incredibly injury prone. I was literally editing a video last night all about Fermin Lopez, how this could be his year. But if he doesn't do it this year, I think he's probably going to go. Like, if he doesn't get a starting spot this year, I think he'd be out the door anyway. But he might even not have the opportunity to. And the fact that Barcelona is basically not throwing the season away, but not able to build around Hansi Flick's team more than they should because of this stupid financial situation that they're in. That yes, they are partially, very much so, not victims, but like they did it to themselves, right? Just being stupid with finances for years and giving guys insane salaries, making some of the most brain dead signings I've seen ever, like ever. The incompetence runs through very solidly, but it's also La Liga because Javier Tebas is making it difficult not only for Barcelona but a whole host of clubs. Getafe had to sell Uche today, and Villarreal. Yeremi Pino might go to from Villarreal to the Premier League. I think to Crystal Palace. Boys, it's a mess. It is an absolute disaster, and now it might affect my boy Fermin Lopez. I think Barcelona are soft pushing him out, where they're like they keep bringing it up, like he could go, and things like that. And I don't know, boys. I think he's gonna leave. The fact that we're still talking about this, we can't get signings across the board. We can't register anybody. I think Gerard Martin, oh no, what a disaster, is not signed. Rooney Barchi is not registered because La Liga wouldn't allow us to register him with the B team, even though Real Madrid were able to register Franco Mastatuano to their B team, even though they paid 60 million euros for him, and he's, 18, 19? He's only a year younger than Barchi. Oh my God, it's so frustrating. And somebody else too, I don't remember who, but somebody else is not registered as well. And so we're left in this terrible position where we need to figure out a way to get these guys over the line. And the only way to do it is to bring money in. Barcelona we got no more levers to pull. Apparently Laporta's got nothing. And this is huge. I think next season is like a campaign year, like another voting year for a new president. If so, Laporta, au revoir, amigo. Let's just mix every language. I don't know, but whatever, dude. It's really upsetting. It's really, really upsetting. And I think Fermin Lopez really actually had a massive chance here this season to solidify his position in the squad. He played basically the exact same amount of minutes last season as he did the season before, despite not really being injured. Because Dani Olmo was signed, and you'd want to see progression as a player. I want to play more every season, become more and more important in the squad until finally, one day, I'm a starter. That's what I think, in theory, most players want, especially Fermin Lopez, who has so much potential, has so much interest in him around the world. Obviously, Chelsea have come in for him. Another UCL club apparently have inquired about him. Chelsea are talking with his camp currently, not talking with Barcelona. And God, guys, I swear to God, if we sell him for any less than 60 million euros to England, I'm going to crash out. And I'm going to crash out either way. But I know we're going to get like 32 million euros and rice and beans. Or I don't know. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible. It is going to. Their Premier League clubs are paying 45 millions for some guy who hasn't touched a football before, and we're going to get nothing. It's so frustrating. And I'm not saying I'm not saying anything because I'm actually losing my mind. This is so frustrating that Hansi Flick wants him to stay. He should stay. Unless he desperately wants to leave, which he doesn't desperately want to leave. He might be interested. He might have his ear open, but that doesn't mean he wants to leave. Players should not have to leave unless they want to leave. Especially, we just won the league. We just won the domestic treble. We competed in an incredible way in the Champions League that we haven't seen in 6 years. And yet, it doesn't matter because we have no money. The Camp Nou is underwater. Guys. Oh my God, guys. It's really frustrating. And like I've seen more conversation about someone has to leave. We need to bring money in, and that brings it into seemingly only Casado or Fermin Lopez. And Marc Casado, I think the ceiling is much lower for Casado. Basically, people in Barca Athletic and at Barcelona didn't really think he'd even break into the first team ever for a while. And obviously he did. I think he was really, really good for what we expected from him last season. And I think he can do the same this year. Do I think he's better than Marc Bernal? Do I think he's better than Marc Bernal can be eventually? Do I think he's better than Frankie or Gavi, who looked really, really good in the last game? Better than Casado? Or Pedri? Like, we have guys there. Pedri, Gavi, Frankie de Jong, and Bernal. That's four heads in to split two positions. And yes, I want Casado to be there as well, especially with Bernal coming back from injury. And we saw last season, Gavi, it took him a long time to really get into it, with him not really warming into it until like now. I want Casado to be around, but if one of Fermin and Casado have to go, I'd much rather Casado go. And that's my opinion. Some people feel otherwise. Some people feel like are in love with Dani Olmo. Some people... I saw some tweets saying, Nkunku, we should swap him for Nkunku. Hey, buddy, that's stupid because we're getting rid of him to register players. We're not going to be able to bring in anyone with this money. It's not going to happen. The only thing that happens if he leaves is new players get registered, and maybe somebody gets loaned or something. I doubt it. I also saw talk about potentially Barcelona buying Villarreal striker who... He got promoted from the B team this season, scored a goal and assisted one in the first two matches for Villarreal, has played pretty well apparently, and has a decent amount of potential. He has a release clause of 10 million euros, and Barcelona were thinking about signing him and then loaning him out to another La Liga team. And I think it's a good idea. Yeah, if you can get the 10 million down and it doesn't really affect your financials in any way, and there's potential there at least to make money, that's the kind of move I really like. But maybe that happens with the Fermin money. I don't expect them to bring another player in, though, with that. It's not going to happen, boys. I don't understand. I mean, I do understand. It's just really, really frustrating that Tebas's regime here in La Liga is constantly forcing clubs to dump players to come up with this perfect financial situation that is really, in my opinion, and it's just not... I don't know if fair is the right word, but ideal for sporting events, sports teams. Just the financials of sports teams has never been great, and it's just an unrealistic expectation, in my opinion, from Tebas. And I think Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid are in great positions because they've been financially pretty healthy for the past couple of years and have been run pretty well, where Real Madrid dumps veterans, they dump club legends when they need to. And are basically able to get away with things unless it's like Bale or Hazard who really put their foot down and don't do anything. Like getting rid of Casemiro for 80 million euros seems like the greatest deal of a lifetime. I can't get over that. Not re-signing Ramos and things like that. Barcelona made some terrible, terrible signings in the past couple of years that really basically depleted their financials after the Neymar transfer, and add on to that the Bartomeu registration contract issues, the COVID problems, and then the stadium renovation seems like one of the worst decisions I've seen in like, I don't care how amazing it's going to be. I don't care if it was falling apart before. we have lost so much revenue in the past 2 years. At the very least, double stadium revenue because you can only fit 50,000 fans. And I think they had only broken 50,000 fans a couple times. I think it's a 55,000 fan capacity stadium at the Montjuic. And I think we broke 50,000 like 3 or 4 times. And I was at the first game, the game against Dortmund, where it was like the most this season so far. That was in April, and there were 49,000 fans there. It's not a good look. It's really, really not a good look at all. And it handicapped how much we could make. It forced us to struggle in a year where we could have been filling the Camp Nou. Absolutely could have. The fans, the Spanish fans there much prefer going to the Camp Nou, and it would have brought in a lot more money. We probably wouldn't be in this situation, but now we are, where Fermin Lopez, I have a feeling he's going to leave. It's just what happens in situations like this, and he's going to go to Chelsea, where I don't know if he fits. They just signed Joao Pedro, who kind of plays in that striker number 10 position sometimes. Cole Palmer plays on the wing, but also inverts a lot. Like, I think Chelsea has a really good potential to be really exciting in the next couple of years. They have some really good talent. Obviously, they're able to spend so much money. It just sucks. It really sucks. And I'm really frustrated as a fan. I'm really scared about what this means next year. That even if Barcelona make a butt ton of money, if they don't move to the Camp Nou and they don't fill the seats when it does open, and honestly, it's only going to open up at partial capacity, meaning you can't bring in all that ticketing revenue. Boys, I don't see it. Like, even if we win the Champions League this year and win everything, that brings us maybe another 40 million euros, 50 million euros than we made this season. And we already sold a butt ton of jerseys last year, the most in the club's history. What is going to change? That's going to change this situation. I can't imagine Hansi Flick is going to want to deal with it for another year, not strengthen his team after having such an insane season. Oh my God, it's incredibly frustrating. I don't think Fermin should go. I think for his career, joining Chelsea right now will not guarantee him a starting spot, and leaving this Barcelona where he is fighting for a starting spot against Dani Olmo, and rightly so. I think he's looked really good in the times that we have seen him, and Dani Olmo isn't the perfect profile for every single match that we play. Having that variety is great. I don't know if we're gonna have it this year. We'll see what happens, boys. I'm gonna update this situation as things unfold. I'm gonna keep getting into it because it is something that I really care about for me. He's one of the reasons I am a YouTuber today. That video that blew up of mine about him changed my life, basically. And so I'm definitely a little biased here. I'd rather Casado leave. I don't think he's going to go because I think the value is significantly lower, and Fermin might have some interest in going. Maybe it has something to do with the Gavi fights. I don't know. It's all nonsense, and I hate it, but I'm going to keep monitoring the situation. I'll keep making videos whenever updates come, and we'll talk about it some more. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see what happens, and I'll see you in the next one. The car alarms are going off outside. Everybody's upset about it, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.